Really stupid. I mean, look how small this is. This is next video. When I open it up, it's all small. They're fucking with me. So it's make Cuba great again. Calm down, BitChute. I know the big picture of all this. Just let your hair down like I let my hair down right now, and just enjoy the video. It's funny. You might get a chuckle or two. You BitChuters need to learn how to laugh a little bit. Of course, I'm not down with war. You know that. But look, let's just take a look at this. Make Cuba great again. It's funny. It's funny as shit. If you don't laugh at this, you're not normal, man. Look at this. He's singing Spanish. Sí, señor. Sí, señor. Nosotros fuimos a Groenlandia. Nosotros paramos la guerra en Ucrania. Nosotros hicimos el mundo. You got JD Vance. You got Marco Rubio playing. In there, the band. Sí, señor. Sí, señor. Nosotras fuimos a Groenlandia. No, nosotras no. Nosotros paramos la guerra en Ucrania. And with that, we have, well, America's not messing around. A video from the White House. All right, so let's take a look at this.
On the orders of the President of the United States, U.S. Central Command commenced Operation Epic Fury.
I'm gonna shoot you right down.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States armed forces.
He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their.
Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. This is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them, take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things so that they can never have a nuclear weapon.
Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's just what we need. More boom, boom, boom. I thought I'd share that with you because that's a thing out there. This video, it's propaganda. It's make Cuba great again, and then this video with Iran. Can we just please stop the insanity? Remember Susan Powder from the 1990s? Stop the insanity! Yeah, stop it. Because all this insanity, well, how's our food situation going to look like if this New World Order gets its way? Huh? Let's take a look. Goes hand in hand. This goes hand in hand with
the population.
Oh my God, a commercial. This goes hand in hand with lack of food. I mean, this shit's everywhere. They're spraying us like bugs, and now there's another unusual airborne toxin from the chemtrails.
Lab rats think again. From Science Daily, unusual airborne toxin detected in the U.S. for the first time. Hidden toxins may be drifting into the air. End quote. Wait. Stop. Should this report say detected for the first time or disclosed for the first time? The report continues. Scientists searching for air pollution clues stumbled onto something unexpected. Toxic MCCPs drifting through the air for the first time in the Western Hemisphere. MCCPs are medium-chain chlorinated paraffins. The team was using advanced instruments to study how tiny airborne particles form, and they uncovered something surprising. The the first airborne detection of MCCPs. These pollutants had previously been detected in places like Antarctica and Asia. Scientists had struggled to measure them in the air over the Western Hemisphere until this study. The scientists then put all the blame on sewage sludge. Quote, when sewage sludges are spread across the fields, these toxic compounds could be released into the air, end quote. First question.
Bullshit.
They admit MCCPs are being detected in Antarctica. Is someone dumping municipal sewage sludge at the bottom of the world? Don't think so. Scientists have already admitted to the PFAS forever chemicals in our air, yet they remain silent about the plethora of filth being spewed in disguise around the world from the geoengineering jet dispersions that are blotting out our skies. Weather warfare under the label of solar radiation management, heavy metals, chemicals, surfactants, polymer nanoparticles, graphene, the list goes on. And only the climate engineers and the money printers know where it ends. Try not to breathe.
So that's another thing that's going on in our world. You think that doesn't affect food production? It affects everything. It's in everything. Let me read this information for you. This is by a Kurt Nimmo. Another Day in the Empire. Iran War Sleepwalking into Starvation. According to Oxford Economics, an independent economic advisory firm, in late March, the price of the two main fertilizer ingredients, ammonia and urea, spiked 20 and 50% respectively in response to the disruptions in the Persian Gulf. So you got two main ingredients, or fertilizer ingredients. You have, what did I just say? Ammonia. Can't you get ammonia from pee, from urine? Well, you have ammonia and you have urea. Those are the two ingredients for fertilizer. All right, the main ingredients. Urea sounds like urine to me. And ammonia, I thought it was in urine. So, I mean, can't you just pee on the crops then? I mean, this is ridiculous. So, ammonia spiked 20% since this so-called Iran war started. And urea, which sounds like urine, spiked 50%. All right, so keep that in mind. 20% for ammonia, 50% for urea. All right, since the disruptions in the Persian Gulf, namely the Hormuz. Now that Iran has established a blockade and tolling system, yes, tolls, a tolling system in the Strait of Hormuz in response to the United States and Israel attacking the country, large amounts of urea, ammonia, phosphates, and sulfur, critical components for fertilizer, are locked out of agricultural supply chains. The very things we need for fertilizer to make everything grow, or grow exponentially, as compared to not using the fertilizers, well, they're just being locked out of agricultural supply chains. Cueing the faking and fiction. While the blockade is not an issue for Russia, the world's largest exporter of urea, Russia, largest exporter of urea, it is a significant issue for Qatar, Oman, and Saudi Arabia, Persian Gulf states currently prevented from exporting urea to market. India, Brazil, and the U.S. are dependent on urea from the Gulf, while China, India, and the U.S. depend on sulfur and ammonia exports from the region. So it sounds like we, in particular, are dependent on exports of ammonia and urea. So, hold on. We're dependent on urea from the Gulf. And the U.S., which is us, and China, India, are also dependent on sulfur and ammonia exports from that region. So we're dependent. It depends, much like your underwear. This is ridiculous. You mean to tell me we don't have urea here? We can't have ammonia here? I mean, we can't make ammonia? I mean, what the hell's going on here? I'm gonna call bullshit on all this, man. This is all done. It has to be done on purpose. It has to be done on purpose. All right? This notion that we have to rely on that country for this and this country for that and all this, that stuff has to be old hat by now. It's 2026, damn it. You haven't figured this out? You haven't figured out how to have them? You can't find ammonia in the United States? 3 million plus square miles of real estate, and you can't have enough, there's not enough ammonia somewhere? Maybe is it in the chemtrails? Can you take it out of the chemtrails? And the sulfur? Can you take the sulfur out of the chemtrails? I know you're spraying this with sulfur up there, right? How about taking that out of the chemtrails and stop spraying us with that, and probably ammonia you're probably spraying us. God knows what else. I mean, take all your ingredients from the chemtrails and put it into the fertilizer. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here's something I want to share with you. The crepe myrtles here have been sprouted a lot sooner this year than later. And they really did. They really did. Full bloom like earlier than normal. And I'm wondering if it's the chemtrails. Like the shit they're putting in there. Maybe it's some kind of ingredients in the chemtrails. But I'm pretty sure we could have ammonia and sulfur and urea and make our own fertilizer. If the Estados Unidos, the United States, can't make fertilizer to fertilize the crops, then but you can make robots that, and robot dogs and all this other shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Anywho, the timing of the disruption makes the situation especially acute or serious, explains the Kiel Institute. Never heard of it. Kiel Institute. So, a European Research Institute for Global Economic Affairs said that. I'm going to try to use European accent. Is it French? German? Dying. The timing of the disruption makes the situation especially acute. English? The timing of the disruption makes the situation especially acute. In other words, it's saying, man, this couldn't come at a worse time. This couldn't come at a worse time, they're saying. Imagine that. The Kiel Institute, they're like, man, really? Seriously? This couldn't come at a better time for the New World Order. But to us, they're saying, man, this is such a pity it came at this time. All this. They're doing this on purpose, man. This is all done on purpose. Here's what the Kiel Institute also had to say. The European Research Institute for Global Economic Affairs, which is a mouthful. They like to do that, have these mouthful titles to everything. March and April are peak months for fertilizer application in the Northern Hemisphere planting season. Although some market adjustment may occur over time, structural damage to supply chains and agricultural production is likely to persist. They love their structural damage to supply chains, don't they? They beat off to that. Have you noticed that since the scamdemic in 2020, when they purposely disrupted the supply chains? That's all they're about. That's all they want to do is disrupt our way of life. We're not going back to the old ways. This is the new norm. Disrupt. That's all they do. Bomb, blow up this oil refinery. Oopsie daisy. Oil refinery went on. Oil refineries going up in flames. Food processing plants going up in flames. Train derailments. Putting chemicals all in the environment. And the environmentalists like Greta Thunberg, or whatever the hell her name is, silent. All these environmentalists, whatever, all these greenies, they're very silent when it comes to train derailments and spilling chemicals into the earth and atmosphere, and they're very silent of oil refineries going up in smoke. They're not going like, how dare you? You should do a better job of preventing these explosions. And they're very silent about this because they're in on it. They want to destroy our old way of life and force their new way of doing things on us. That's the way I see it. On March 9th, the American Farm Bureau Federation sent a letter calling on President Trump to ensure safe passage of fertilizer shipments to the United States to stabilize costs and delivery ahead of spring planting season for farmers. So you got the American Farm Bureau writing a letter. Dear President Trump, please ensure that we have safe passage of fertilizer shipments to the United States to stabilize costs. Please, so we can plant our plants. All right? That's according to the Detroit Free Press. They're appealing to the president to make sure that we get our damn fertilizer, damn it. All right? So I want to know, are we going to get our fertilizer? I hear that even if the Strait of Hormuz is opened up, that the damage has already been done, because that's what all this shit's about, damage. Do you know how many videos I see about channels warning and showing actual video clips of news articles, showing clips of news articles and video clips of experts in the industry saying, hey, this is serious. We're going to have a massive Massive food shortage, the likes we've never seen. 2020 was just a dry rehearsal for all the stuff that they want to happen. Okay, so we saw some empty shelves hither and thither in 2020. That was to get us prepared for what they really want to happen. And then they say there's a drought on top of the Hormuz and bullshit. They've orchestrated a drought. There's like very little snowpack melting to provide water out west and all that, in the mountains and stuff like that, and where they farm. And there's just videos saying that there's a drought, that the South is cooked, and we can't produce anything. I'm thinking it's more, they probably friggin' them sprayed something where people can't, the crops are failing. Something's going on, or they're orchestrating a drought. But this is all done on purpose. This is not like an act of God or anything like that. No way, Jose. We got too many demons on earth for anything to be an act of God. All right. So a survey conducted by the Federation, the American Farm Bureau Federation, shows that 70% of respondents say fertilizer is so expensive that they will not be able to they will not be able to buy all the fertilizer they need. It's so much money they can't do it. Now, there's quite a few farms or states with farmers that have bought a bulk of what they need ahead of time. But that's not everyone. In the South in particular, I hear crickets. All right, not much production is going to happen. So they say right now. All right. So, according to this American Farm Bureau and Federation, they conducted a survey in early April, and it shows that 70% of respondents say that fertilizer is so much money. And in 2020, they did this shit. They made fertilizer expensive in 2020 due to supply chain shortage because they disrupted the supply chain. Remember that? So they've been dealing with this shit for years, struggled. But now this looks like the death blow is what they're trying to hand the farmers, and to create a famine. To create a famine. That's what they want, because they want most of us gone. That's their goal. A lot of us were supposed to have been gone last year, 2025, according to Deagle. And of course the Georgia Guidestones. But that didn't happen. So more than 5,700 farmers, both Farm Bureau members and non-members from every state and Puerto Rico, took part in that survey. 5,700 farmers. So I'm thinking that's like 5,700 farms. That's a shit ton of farms. These are 5,700 farmers, which translates to 5,700 farms, right? Of the United States and Puerto Rico participated in this survey. It's probably a lot more that didn't. Are you ready? Now, if this doesn't pan out and it's just fear-mongering, great, big thumbs up. You're prepared if you are prepared. But if this does happen and you're not prepared, woe unto you. The analysis reveals that almost 8 in 10 farmers in the southern United States say that they can't afford all needed supplies this year, followed by the Northeast and West at 69% and 66%. So you got 8 in 10 farmers in the southern United States. That's 80% of the farmers here in the South. Say they can't afford all they need to provide the adequate amount of even meat and crops, not just crops. They're saying that 80% in the South is not. They can't do it. They're saying that 69% in the Northeast can't afford all the needed supplies. They're saying that 66% in the West can't. And 48% in the Midwest, which is almost half of the Midwest, can't. So I'm going to leave it at that. What they're saying is that this is going to be a huge, huge disaster. I saw a video by the Poplar Report, the Poplar, Poplar, the Poplar Report, saying that gas within weeks could be as high as $20 per gallon. Could be. And I say will be. Could be. So in a nutshell, if this persists, food production could fall between 10 to 25% worldwide, which means there won't be enough food for everyone. Places like the Middle East and, of course, Africa will be heavily hit. The United States will experience, well, lo and behold, higher food prices and food shortages, which begs the question. I mean, does that mean restaurants will have to 86 a lot of items on their menu because, well, food shortages? Or does it just affect grocery stores and not restaurants? Because if I remember correctly, which is very weird, during the scamdemic in 2020, the grocery stores seemed like they were experiencing food shortages, but I don't remember restaurants experiencing any kind of shortages on their menus. I don't remember that. I mean, I don't recall that. And I even think I questioned that back then. I said, that's very strange. I said, the restaurants don't have, they're not short of this, that, and the other, but the grocery stores are? Oh, that's weird. So that's very strange, but it's just not good. This whole thing is not good. So stock up when you can. Don't hoard or anything like that, but pay attention. That's what I got for you. Pay a lot of attention. Don't just rely on me, because I devote a lot of time to all this. I'm just going to mention things and make videos when I can about this stuff, but do your own research. You need to be vigilant, and you need to be prepared every bit as much as me and the next person, all right? Because we're living in extremely, extremely unpredictable, or maybe from another angle, you could say very predictable times. Because, I mean, for the average Joe, this is unpredictable. Like, wait a minute, empty shelves? What's going on? But for those of us that know what they're up to, well, this appears very predictable. So I got for you. Don't be a troll out there. I